YouTube is full of videos about good knives. It's full of videos about bad knives. It's high time that someone makes a video about weird knives. This is 3 Weird Knives, and I'm your host, JJJinks!
Let's get weird.
Here's a weird knife. It is Teakut. I do like how they incorporate an actual knife in the letter K there. So I spotted this knife on Amazon, and they boasted a very unique opening mechanism and a coating of titanium nitride, which gives us this very, very shiny blue finish. Now I'm just gonna point it out right away. Coating it with titanium nitride does nothing but color it. It is not corrosion resistant. It's just there for looks. And you can see this little spot on the ring here where they clipped it in and anodized it. So this was an anode, and then the titanium coated it. That's how you get these colors. Different voltages give you different colors because that affects the thickness of the coat, which changes the optical properties. This knife is very, very thin, and it has this like bar welded into place, which is to protect you from the blade because there's no scales on this thing. It's just kind of out there. And that bar goes around to the back over to this pin, which is how it locks closed. So the interesting thing about it is you have to push this button, and that releases the blade so that you can then open it like so. But then it's really awkward to hold it because it's like you gotta, I don't know, push the pin and then somehow, hang on, push the pin. Yeah, I guess that'll work. That was one of the big complaints in the Amazon reviews, is this thing is like really hard to open. When the blade goes around, that pin will snap back into place, locking it open. Hand feel wise, I guess I'm gonna put my pinky through the ring and kind of hold it like that. It's semi-comfortable. I don't know. It's like if I were to use this knife a lot, I would imagine it would start to feel uncomfortable pretty quickly. But I don't have much to compare it with. If I had a CRKT minimalist, for example, I might be able to compare this tiny handled contraption with something else, but as I do not, then I can't really make that comparison. But it's got a couple of hot spots. I can feel it on my pinky and my ring finger, and then the rest of my hand is kind of squished up against this circular part. It doesn't feel that good. But man, what a weird knife. Look at this thing. It's cheap steel, and like I said, they tried to advertise the coating like it was some kind of super corrosion resistant thing when it's not. But I've never seen anything like it, and I like the locking mechanism. That is a very unique take on locking a knife blade. It's a little bit easier to close, so that's good. Yeah, pretty neat. Tellurium cut. Here's another weird knife. I picked this up many years ago. I don't remember from where. It might have been DHgate or one of those places. And it's like a coin knife. Now, the original design, from what I remember, was made by a sort of artist, I guess. And then a lot of places quickly copied the design because there was kind of nothing like it at the time. So what we're looking at is kind of a sort of a medallion. It came with one of those chains that you can put around your neck, and I got rid of. The blade's got a pivot right here in this sort of bell-shaped piece, and it just kind of slides out, and there is this cutout which looks rather phallic, with a little teeny tiny ball bearing right there that acts as the detent, and you can hear it snap into place after you open the coin knife. And it's basically a slip joint with a detent holding it in, I guess. There's nothing to stop it from closing, so that's just kind of there to hold it as you use it, I guess. I'm not entirely sure how you hold it. There's a hole right here and this strange looking metal piece. Like I said, an artist designed it, so I guess that's where my thumb goes, and then my index finger here, perhaps, and then you can cut stuff. The blade's got a single edge grind, so it's not very sharp, and it's, I mean, I guess you could get it sharp. You can get any piece of metal sharp, really. It's just an artistic little knife. It looks a little bit like a toucan, so that's weird. And for my third knife of the episode, I got this buckle-looking thing. Now, it came with this shoestring bracelet, but I had to cut it off from this end for reasons you were about to discover. What we're looking at is kind of a brass and silvery motif, which you can get in different colors. You can get all silver or all black or whatever. The way it works is you push in these two pieces and there's your knife. It's not much of a blade, but hey, it's a blade nonetheless. And then you can turn it around and actually clip it back in. And there you have it. Only it doesn't really work too well in this position, because when you go down to cut something, it very promptly just kind of falls off. It is a cutting tool, and it is weird. It's almost like a seatbelt. And that concludes this week's episode.